I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do a part three because I want to get this point across again. People coming at Anthony Edwards being young and saying things that he didn't have no business getting into because he didn't justify his timing. But I'm not gonna let him off the hook either because if he didn't see something, at least front. I have a problem with younger folk nowadays who have Wikipedia, have Google, have access to stuff, but don't research stuff and just say dumb stuff and just leave it hanging there. As we were coming along, we used to research and do all that. But I'm not gonna hold it all against him, unlike some fellow peers, because I'm gonna say this: he didn't say anything that JJ Redick didn't get rewarded for. JJ Redick called great players and teams plumbers, and it became a catchphrase. You know, like when you walk around here now and you say no Diddy. Well, it's the same thing about saying plumbers and electricians if we talk about basketball when they have a discussion with somebody. But he's a Laker head coach. He's a podcaster. He had an analyst job. He called the finals. Where is your long line of JJ Redick? And I can go on about JJ Redick with his little beady-eyed self because his racist past and other things. He got rewarded. Where is your anger at JJ Redick like you're coming after Anthony Edwards? At least in Ant's case, being young and not fully aware on subjects, much like some of these people that come out here and try to say, I remember Brandon Jennings tried to come out and say that Chris Brown was better than Michael Jackson, and Tank did that too. And they always found a way to downplay black cultural significance. That's another thing I noticed the parallels. Now, the J.J. Redick thing, when he dissed Bakuzi, Jerry West and him, was white included, but it was knocking black. But I've already dealt with that. And I know Isaiah Thomas, I deal with that too, but I still put the partial blame on David Stern, the way he wanted the NBA to be. I remember Earl of Pearl Monroe was asked about it. He said, we can't talk about our era because they're not trying to sell our era. NBA is the only sport that does this. Major League Baseball is now including the Negro Leagues when they talk about stats. The NFL, though they have to put the logos in the end zone and stuff, are trying to act inclusive. They're making the teams change their names like they did the Washington Commanders. They're trying to act to an extent kind of progressive. Ongoingly, it's a battle. The NBA, so-called players league, the so-called brothers get to do what they want, which I always said was an acronym for Negroes be acting. That's what I've always said because it ain't nothing but an acting job. Is pushing this imagery, but you can't explain the overseas ball dominance because they do what they want. And they do it in a way that they cheapen everybody. Look, I think Jokic is one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen. I can't say if he was better than Arvidas Sabonis because that's still jury's still out because Sabonis was a bad dude. And that was the one dude I would love to have seen in his peak in his prime in the NBA had he came over. But Jokic is a bad dude. But when you get cats like Bob Ryan, these others up here saying, oh yeah, he'll just mop the floor with Shaquille O'Neal to disrespect. Because what they're going to do is take everything that you know and gobble it up like Hungry Hippo or Pac-Man. They don't do that in any other sport. You will get you will get the beady-eyed Davis look if you diss Babe Ruth, if you diss Johnny Unitas. You know, they always because it's covered. And I think also because the black and white aspect. I'm a firm believer that race plays a part with everything because they can protect that. This NBA they can't, but they put who they want to market like that. Like how they disrespected Will Chamberlain saying that everybody below him was 6'2" and they were midgets. You know, they would say or say Bill Russell only played against bankers and he dominated. You know, they find ways to do that. Bill Russell has been, I said Isaiah Thomas Martin, Bill Russell's ultimately been disrespected. All of them have been disrespected because they were black and they could play fundamentally. Dr. J's been disrespected because his ABA style, which mirrors a lot of what you see today, was seen as taboo, and that was the street, and we need that. It's kind of like how they do with hip hop. We need that. We need that fro. We need that. We need that. We don't want it, but we need it. Then when we get done with it, we'll find another version, and we'll create a Michael Jordan, and we'll make you forget about Dr. J. You see how I did that? And we'll get someone that's accessible like Magic Johnson. We got these stars online. It's a factory. Not saying people don't earn their position, but this is how it goes. So you get someone like Anthony Edwards, who's like seen as counterculture to what's happening, disrespecting Kevin Durant on the court. Couldn't figure out the Dallas Mavericks. Didn't look too good. He's fun, energetic, engaging, and he talks that talk like they like, that swag. And they will hopefully they can build a platform to build him up. But how is he catching all the heat and JJ Redick is getting? And for the record, Anthony Edwards already had a better career than JJ Redick. Why aren't you holding that same energy for JJ Redick? I think Anthony Edwards could wear a blazer and be an analyst and have a podcast and do right well now. And maybe could play a coach. But you see, that's lies the problem. You have to look at the sources. It was planted that way. I know someone's going to mention Gilbert Arenas. Well, Gilbert was a good player who done said a lot of stuff. Gilbert had made himself into the Kanye West of the NBA, though Kanye is a bigger figure in music than Gilbert ever be as a basketball player. But you see, you get these people who played there to justify and say this stuff. But they don't get the same platform as a JJ Redick. They don't get the same platform David Stern did or Adam Silver, who are pushing agendas to whiten what you've seen. Stern did it in the 80s. He said, if I had my way, he said, LA against LA 20 years ago, his all-time starting five was Jordan, Bird, Magic, Shaq, and I think Duncan. He put everything in a modern context. You can do that, and you are entitled to love your eras. The problem that we run into is that it's been systematically done already for you. I can't tell no kid coming along there about how great Shaq was, because they don't have American-born centers that are dominant anymore to do that. They are doing what they want to do away with. They're making it more and more removed. And it's funny how we got to hear about the 20s murderous road New York Yankees and all-white league, but we somehow look down on the Celtics with Bill Russell and Auerbach and what they did. You got to understand the fundamentals of what's at work. So what Anthony Edwards is being used, just like a lot of people are being used. But see, it anoints a JJ Redick who's a mediocre everything, analyst, podcast, all that. But he seemed like the smartest man. And they trying to call him the Pat Riley savant updated. But Pat Riley acknowledged the West Kentucky situation, the racial situation in the 60s and what he saw. They don't want that. You have to watch how these things are done. The intent and purpose. People are going to come back and give Anthony Edwards all kinds of blues, but they're not going to come after JJ Redick. They're not going to come after Adam Silver or David Stern because they won't go after the money train. Who's the one? The corporate has been pushing this agenda. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another share if you like, and please hit that membership because when you do the reviews requests, I get them back to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay focused, stay real, stay on, stay honest, stay true, stay woke. And ask yourself about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They only acknowledge him properly when LeBron passed him, and they tokenly say he's the third best player, even though he has the same identical situation as Michael Jordan and was the leading scorer. So make it make sense how they go high-low with what they do. And then think about Anthony Edwards and think about JJ Redick and see where you are. I'm out.